greetings and all that stuff. Um, it being Sunday in the Christmas season, and come back each day to get a reward. Okay. Was I supposed to get something else? I don't know. I have this on Xbox 360. Yeah, and that's the end of that conversation. About Super Mario Run, and that's the placeholding topic. Yes, everyone knows how to play Bejeweled. I don't know why people are complaining. Okay, so it has to have always on internet. What is necessarily the problem with that? Now, I don't want to give any props to any particular podcasters, YouTubers, or anything like that. But someone was complaining like how they have spotty internet on their phone. I'm just curious what iPhone they're using. I have spotty internet like inside the Palace Station. I'm not aware of having spotty internet anywhere else. My old phone, oh man, that thing couldn't get internet anywhere, so it kind of makes it laughable. So it has always on DRM. I personally don't like that. I was trying to make a video. Well, I wasn't trying. I put up what I could, and because what I gotta do is AirPlay from my iPad to the Apple TV, and then what that did was it caused all that stuttering and stuff that you saw. If you watched the video, only 50 some odd people watched it so far. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just the way it goes. But no, I just don't come up in the searches. Either, I've checked people's tags. Who knows? Who knows what on earth YouTube wants in a search? What's it doing here? Oh, now I remember. Okay. So, if the internet is spotty or something, I don't know. Just not having that problem myself. Now, the game goes, it takes practice. It reminds me a lot of when I was 5. Yes. When I was 5, I had a babysitter. He was a Sarge. And his family had a Famicom with not a Famicom, a prototype NES. This is for test marketing, with black cartridges. So I contacted RetroCore about 2 years ago, and RetroCore looked into it for me. And the black cartridges, sure enough, were from Japan, but they were for hotels, and the reason they chose to use the NES style cartridges in black was to prevent early piracy on the Famicom in 1985. So that was my first exposure, and I remember getting killed by Little Goomba immediately. And in Super Mario Run, outside of the tutorial, no, I didn't get killed by Little Goomba immediately, but I didn't do too well. And yeah, the game can be played on one hand on the iPhone, but I play it on my iPad, so I can play it on my... I guess I could stream AirPlay to the TV. And it's a pretty good game for what it is. It's like Pokemon Shuffle or Pokemon Go. It's not an outstanding effort, but it's a really good effort. Has all the right things in all the right places. I suppose it has all that bass if you go ahead and put it in a radio. I don't follow music, so I don't have any idea what happened to Meghan Trainor. The last video I saw, she was like all dolled up like in like rockabilly stuff, and like singing in a kitchen or something. That's all I remember. I have no idea what the ice pick is for unless we're talking some kind of Frozen Basic Instinct thing. Now, on the topic of other topics, I was not even reading what it just told me. I have no idea. I'm pretty much playing till I get a game over and whatever. Actually, I'm gonna check if there's Bejeweled of some sort on the PS4. Because I can play endless mode endlessly. I can kind of do that with Tetris, but like, okay, here's a funny story about me playing Tetris casually. I went ahead and I was lecturing my sister and brother-in-law about Tetris because they wanted to see what I meant. I was trying to explain, like, Tetris means it's based on the Russian or Greek, the number 4, tetra, and I was explaining it. Like, oh, look at this. Oh, I'm not doing too well, whatever. And I ended up beating Tetris Party on WiiWare. It was not my intent. I was just goofing around. Select a snowball to receive 5 extra moves. You have 2 snowballs to try for free. Oh, okay. I need extra moves. I'm not sure. So I just ended up beating Tetris rather quickly. My intent was never to beat Tetris. I was just playing till I earned the game over. Yeah, game overs are earned, and what's really earned in a game over is experience. You know, it's like people who quit video games while online or whatever. And no, I don't use any dumb modern terms originated on video game websites. Yeah, call that a negative if you will, but if you want to, I don't care to. When I speak English, I want to speak English so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Oh, I guess I probably would have needed something. I don't know what. Use the snowball. Okay. I have no idea what what I was supposed to do here. Okay, he's gonna do free fall again. What was the difference? I don't know. Anna. Who's Anna? And why does she have a torch? I do have Frozen. It's on my Disney Movies Anywhere. I kind of like that service. I like it and I don't like it because it's like every few years I have to like reauthorize everything. So that's a pain in the butt. On the other hand, it's very convenient because I sometimes if friends and family want to watch a movie or something, I just let them use my Vudu account real quick and they watch the movie. I mean, you know, I can go visit their house, or if they have an iPad or smartphone available, I can go right on ahead and let them use Vudu. For me, I just go ahead and I use my Apple Movie, whatever it's called, Apple Movie account, and Apple iTunes account. That's what it's called, iTunes account. So I just go ahead and I use that, and I like that. As long as I have a internet connection. But I'm getting a little wary of internet connections. I really think businesses shouldn't have internet connection, and I feel that we should have high-speed over-the-cell phone internet. Yes, I do know it's convenient that places have internet connections for not so much the limitations, but going back to what I said about Super Mario Run, spotty internet. So if a business offers that, okay. No. From the business's standpoint, like, I am sick and tired of every time I walk into, I mean, this less so than other places. I don't even want to hear a radio station when I go to a business. It's a complaint, but I'm doing it in a positive way. The positive is monetary gain. If I have a Muzak system, and with iTunes, there's no excuse for a business to have your local radio station on. Also, I don't know how enforceable this is, but I have encountered it. Regular radio stations, the IRAA, on behalf of BMI, SOCAN, I don't remember the third service right now. Anyways, there's like these services that a business subscribes to obtain music for their businesses. And you have to pay royalties through your subscription. Well, not through your subscription. You don't have one unless you happen to be in the industry talking to me. Let's see here. What am I going to buy? I am going to buy nothing. No, just play it again. Yeah, so anyways, if I ran a business, I'm supposed to subscribe to one of these because they think that the musicians and singers and songwriters deserve to be paid because you, if you were a business owner, would be using their... What does this do? Oh, that's neat. Do it again. You'd be using the usage of their copyrighted material. So, in actuality, yeah, if I was a business, I would actually have to pay royalties to use a local radio station, just because it's free over the air. It all comes down to licensing and all that stuff and yada yada yada. But Overall, I don't think most businesses have been caught. It was more prevalent when, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but because of MP3, music became worthless, and movies are headed that way. That's why you go, if you were to do this, I know I go into Kmart, or Sears, and Sears rarely carries movies now, but then I see all these, they're all from like Mill Creek and Echo Bridge and Anchor Bay. I don't even know if Anchor Bay is in business anymore. Oh no. Who was, there was another company. Ooh, I don't remember the other company. There was another company though. Who would that company be? I don't remember the other company. But anyways, like for a while, what did I do wrong here? For a while, I remember a lot of Miramax films, Jackie Chan, all this stuff being slapped on to these $5 things. Mostly, I think either from Mill Creek or Echo Bridge. I really get the two confused. Their logos almost look the same. Oh, it doesn't look like it's filled at the top. Okay, I guess it was. Especially with the Blu-ray players, the quality is not so great on a lot of these subtitles and stuff cut out, whatever. I even remember there's like these 20th Century Fox films, like Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser, not Dudley Moore, being released, not in a pack or anything, just individually, with like it has subtitles, but it has to be manually put in, not in the menu, but by the remote. It's like doesn't even indicate that or anything. I think the movies just start. I don't think there is a menu. It's like real bare bones. And, I mean, come on, it's a Blu-ray. At a minimum, it holds 25 gigs. And I don't think the film transfers were real bad. It looked actually worse than the DVDs. Because I had the Bedazzled and Simply Irresistible DVDs. And when we got the Blu-rays, I mean, it's like the movies just aren't watched. The easiest way to watch movies, though, again, this goes back to having always on internet, is, like I said, through my iTunes account, it puts the videos and then now this thing called TV app. I haven't figured out how to stream on it yet because I was streaming. I don't think Apple wants streaming. I think they want people to download the whole video file and watch it that way. And I suppose that makes sense as iPhone capacities, and I think like the smallest that can be bought now is 16 gigabytes on an iPad. And if a person isn't a user, is not full of full of whatchamacallit, yeah. Mind some whatchamacallit myself. Pretty good candy bar. But I just think that it's more of trying to save money, which goes back to what I'm saying. What if businesses didn't have to offer free Wi-Fi? Well, it may not seem significant, but it is. I mean, what is business internet? Business internet is expensive compared to consumer internet. I know this from, I mean, I don't currently have, but I do have a friend who currently runs a business where he uses internet radio. You see, this has a macrum of absolute truth to it. And yeah, he uses internet radio for his music choices because he has a theme, but he doesn't pay a dime. He doesn't pay a dime for that. Because in actuality, internet radio is covered under different licenses. It's weird. That's American copyright law for you. As weird as it gets. It wasn't always weird to understand. It didn't get weird to, like, from what I've read, the Walt Disney Company started going bonkers in the 70s or something. Too much to cover for what I would like to cover. Especially since I'm the only one carrying the conversation at the present moment. Okay, let me think. What am I really doing here? Let me do that. Aha! So that was correct. The computer was correct. Isn't that right, Mr. Data? Now, should Nintendo have went along with this wacky DRM? Well, yes and no. Because I understand piracy is a problem, though I have never encountered piracy on the iDevices. If they meant what are those people? Jailbreak? Because by going against the terms of service, a person can actually be jailed criminally, depending on who's leading the charge in the case. It's happened. It happens. There's about 200 people a day busted on DRM in the United States. Considering that there's millions of violations, you know, it's gonna be quite a while before anybody actually gets prosecuted. But when the prosecutions happen, there's no way to fight around it, unless your attorney somehow happens to be in a state that doesn't acknowledge things like non-competitive clauses and terms of service and end-user licensing agreements. Then I'm not going to say which state, but there are a good number of states that don't acknowledge such things, where, you know, you get arrested for DRM or whatever, and, you know, big deal. The judge just throws it out. It's like, it doesn't belong here in my court. Where's the other crown? Okay, let's see. I still don't see the other crown. No, I don't. Ah, there it is. Okay. It's not. It's the only way to win the level, I think. I think Pokemon Shuffle does the same. It's like, oh, here's a level to deal with it. Pokemon Shuffle, now, not always on. It is always on internet too. It's not necessarily so much DRM as it is just plain annoying. Now, on the 3DS version, though, it's not always calling out. I think that would have been neat if they released Super Mario Run on the 3DS as well, but I do understand why Nintendo probably won't. Not initially, anyways. The reason to me is simple. It's more of a hardware thing, actually. That's all. This is a company that could essentially walk away from what they just did on smartphones. Speaking of that, a while back, this has got to be 10 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, I went to, there used to be a Sony store. I think it might still be in Caesar's Palace. Well, actually, it was not in Caesar's Palace. It's Caesar's Forum Shops. How do I explain this? The Caesar Forum Shops are actually not owned by Caesar's Palace. Caesar's, it's on land that was adjacent to Caesar's. And there we go. And being on land adjacent to Caesar's, they went ahead and entered into an agreement that was supposed to be beneficial to the casino and to the mall that was being built. So that's just a little bit of history there. But there was a Sony store after the expansion that was, well, see, there used to be a Virgin store in there too. You bought all kinds of video games. It had the best prices. Strangest location for the best prices. Also, I always wonder why its foreign music was domestic music imported from foreign markets. I'm not going to talk about like how AC/DC, that one's a funny case about how their albums are. But what am I talking about here? Oh yeah, the Sony store. So I go down there and I play an S tablet. Find out I can put, I don't know about PSP, but I could put my PS1 classics that I bought on PSP on the Sony S tablet. I don't have any specific model or anything. It was whatever was there that I was playing with. That would have been nice. I doubt the tablet today even has the chops for whatever the heck is going on. But, you know, things like the iPod or whatever, Sony could have, like, totally owned that industry. Where were they? Where were they with the MP3? They did some right. There was a mini disc player that could load MP3s on the mini disc, and then I can just carry around multiple mini discs. Back then, that was a big deal. That destroyed all other MP3 players at that particular moment. But okay, I see. Because I remember I was traveling with these guys, and they were asking me about. I've never saw these guys ever again. It was like a one-off thing. Got along with them, so I don't know. Oh, I remember him. Yeah, he didn't finish his college. He went and joined the army, and we found out that he was peeling potatoes in like Idaho. Yeah, I believe it was Idaho. And we all warned him, like, don't do that. You know, it's gonna get you into trouble. Or no, not in trouble. You're not gonna be able to become that officer. Sure enough, it's He's been out of the military for a while. He's got an okay job and everything, but yeah, sure enough, going to become an officer. It became a trust thing. They said you sold yourself short, and we can't trust you to be an officer. Now, this isn't always the case with promotions and stuff. I know of 2 enlisted airmen who became officers in the Air Force. So, I thought that was pretty neat. And yet, I know many, many, many more who did not amount to anything. They stayed enlisted. Now, nobody here is a bad guy or anything like that. I mean, he went to the military because they sold him a bill of goods that had an invoice. Does that make any sense? And I'm not bashing the military. They got to do what they do to fill their ranks, all in the name of national defense. But, yeah, defense. It's called the Department of Defense. We go around offensing people. I'm blaming the higher ups on that, not our normal everyday rank and file troops. They don't have anything to do with these decisions. It comes down from the top, and it's just outright baffling. I mean, a lot of guys are just like, what are these orders? What do they mean? Why am I getting these orders here? These orders are ridiculous. But they're paid to follow orders, not question the orders. In all disclosure, I know I've never served. They wouldn't take me because they don't like the way I allegedly duck walked. Which is A-okay. I mean, it's their military, not mine. If I had gone in, I would have stayed until they asked me to leave. I'd probably be there now doing military things on a Sunday if I didn't have the weekend off. Instead of being here playing a Disney game while yapping away on the PS4. If someone can keep me level-headed about what does the hourglass do? This one I'm curious about. But whatever it is, it's been unlocked. Oh, beat the clock. I see. I hate timed levels. It's cold. Because it's December. What do penguins have to do with Christmas? And this is why I hate timed levels. I'm not too fond of them Pokemon Shuffle either. I would love to make a video for you all of Pokemon Shuffle, but that's just not going to happen. It's like trying to find a Sizzler still open in Las Vegas. If there is one, I'm unaware about it. Certainly can come up on their website. So it's the same thing. I just do, Pokemon Shuffle, blah blah blah, Pokemon. Now, about quality of system, no, I'm not going to get into that right now. That's more for, that needs people to talk about that. There's a lot of things that are already covered out there, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pinpoint places that y'all can go to as listeners or viewers and find information. To get gaming opinion and news, from a somewhat knowledgeable aspect, actually, a pretty knowledgeable aspect, is as long as they don't talk about politics or religion or something, is the CU podcast on Pat NES Punk's YouTube channel. And if you respect a YouTuber, please let their commercials play, even if you have the ability to skip. Unless the commercial is without reason. And, you know, it's like one time I was watching one of my own videos. I was trying to show my wife, actually. And out of curiosity, we saw this commercial come up for 21 minutes. My videos are not that long. Well, these are. I'm talking the clips of, you know, matches and stuff like that for fighting games, puzzle games, whatever. I mean, it's like holy moly, why would Google allow this? There's another one I saw with Amber MacArthur, and it's like, I have nothing against Amber MacArthur, but that ad was ridiculously long. And why is it an ad? I've seen some Toys R Us ads that are pretty long too, not as long as these two ones I've specified. Alright, moving on to other places to find information. Rageaholic does these quick rants. That's what he likes to do. I like to do this, so please don't come on my YouTube channel and dictate to me what you think I should do. This is my YouTube channel, so get your own. And if you can, you know, if you can watch, you can go sign up and make your own videos. It's cool. You can talk about it. You don't have to hear me talk about something to reassure you. Be assured yourself. Don't worry about what I have to say. It's just one man's opinion out of millions and billions of people on the planet of Earth. None of this global citizen crap, but yeah, you don't need me to reaffirm whatever. You know, be sure of yourself. So I say, yeah, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, Rageaholic, he's pretty good. Razor Fist is what he calls himself. And then there's I don't know, his partner in crime or whatever, Alpha Omega Sin. He was also on a nerd video, and he's pretty cool. And then obviously AVGN himself, who's actually the real father of the internet. As far as these so-called big YouTubers like PewDiePie or whatever, I don't watch their videos. I don't subscribe to them. I don't watch their videos. How on earth can I recommend something I've never seen? You know, they might be big, but are they really big, or, you know, is it spread out? It's like movie tickets. Is a movie really popular, or did the ticket prices go up so it looks like the movie made a profit? You know, start dividing things up like that, and maybe things ain't so popular. It's funky like that, to tell you the truth. In fact, the truth is out there. Don't you watch the X-Files? Let's see, others. Leo Laporte has the Twit Network, though. This election season brought out a lot of the Looney Toony in some of the podcasters. Not all of them. I'm not going to name names here. It's up to you all to find that out. But, you know, people who were held in high esteem for their opinions and reviews and end up just being grade A bonkers. I know I'm grade A bonkers, and I was that way to start off with. This is actually a podcast. I'm just using this because we are 2/3 water to, some people say, 3/4 water. The point is, the species of man, that's our species, we're not humans. You can debate that all you want, but you're wrong. We can address ourselves as people, person, or man as part of mankind. And then there's female man is called a woman. It's kind of simple like that. But using the term female is meant for an animal. So, like, you have a female dog. That's called a bitch. And then you have a male canine. Actually, is their proper term. I know we call them dog, but dog is actually a male canine, and a female dog is a bitch. Start knowing some of this stuff here, and how scientific terms have just been pooped on by especially teachers who are supposed to know better. But there was a time when teachers actually had to go get a master's degree, even for elementary school, to teach. And once you start knowing these kind of things, it's pretty neat. Anyways, let's go on and keep talking about who else to listen to or find. That's the thing. There's going to be a generation coming up within the next 5 years that will not receive their information through the evening news. The late baby boomers, some of the elderly, a lot of people my age, we don't watch the news. It's over for the news and us. We don't watch it. We see it. We turn the channel. There's no career in it. It's a dead industry. And I'm not going to get into the real reasons why. It's just people rather go get their news instantaneously on their iPad or their Kindle or their computer or whatever other device they have. There's some people who only go on the internet on their smartphones. And yes, it's the internet. Any other name about it proves abundant ignorance in comprehension and usage. And right now they want to talk about the internet this, the internet that, whatever. The websites know nobody wants their ads. Maybe this is why Nintendo's doing always on DRM. No one wants ads. That's as given as noontime sun on a clear day. So it will eventually filter out. It'll dredge out what is and isn't successful. eBay, Amazon, at least their retail sites will continue. Amazon might be facing their own troubles. They could be declared a monopoly, and Google too, and Apple too, and Microsoft too, and they could, in fact, finally be broken up. The movie companies are in danger of this. But now the movies, going back to that, about, how much is a movie really worth? It's not just Miramax who, their deal is done though with Mill Bridge. That's what I'm going to call them. Their deal is all done with that. What it is about these packs, though, is, I've seen other companies sign up, and Warner Brothers does their own. Not for $5, though I've seen these retail for $5 after a year or two, but, like, get all 4 Dirty Harry movies for $8 on sale. Get all 4 Tim Burton Batman movies, so forth and so on. Superman 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever. I've seen certain Paramount movies lumped into these movie packs. What's going on is, like, I saw one that had what's that? Ben-Hur. Not the new Ben-Hur that no one remembers. The real Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston. Well, actually, the real Ben-Hur... No, okay, I'm not going to get into film history. I can do that, but I'm not going to that. There was... What did it have? Gladiator and Ben-Hur together? No, that's not right. Was it? I saw something where Ben-Hur was like the second fiddle in a collection. And I always thought that pack was interesting. It was a Blu-ray pack though, but yeah, it's like Ben-Hur from MGM. That's the other thing about MGM, because of Turner and all that stuff. A lot of MGM movies are being taken care of by Warner Brothers. Of course, well, how do I explain this? The Warner Brothers today is not the Warner Brothers. This Warner Brothers has gone through a bunch of owners. The Warner Brothers today is the Kinney Parking Company. It's also, you want more funky, MGM, since I brought them up just a moment ago, is actually Caesars Entertainment, which was formerly Harrah's. Through mergers, acquisitions, and everything, the actual MGM business somehow ended up with them, not Kerkorian. And MGM, the hotel company, which could definitely use Kerkorian's guidance right now, they are not the MGM movie company, but they're Kerkorian's asset combined with whatever Steve Wynn sold to them. So it's all pretty neat. Like, who owns what and where and why. Yeah, there was a small time that what's called today MGM, that movie company, which is also was part of Kerkorian's thing. I don't know enough about Kerkorian's business setup to know who owns what anymore. Mainly because I just haven't looked. I used to be a real big investor in stocks. The only company I said don't invest in is AMD, and I still stand behind that to this day. I still find, even though we are using AMD processors, so forth and so on, I find a lot of their stuff junk. But they do write a better processor and they did kick off the 64-bit Wintels, so to speak. But because before that, the only 64-bit processor that was easily available, other than the N64 and the PS2, were what do you call that? The Apple G5s, the iMacs. Was it first in the iMac? I don't know. You know, to quote Phil Barnes, who quoted someone else, you know. I've forgotten more than you'll ever learn. It goes the same way. I mean, I was borrowing a G5 from Phil, using it as a video encoder. I can do that with a G4 right now. It just takes a while. I got all these apples lying around for video. But I did work at a TV station, and I did work for a video game company in some weird capacity. And before that, I've always, you want to talk about having a bunch of .coms. I had a bunch of them. None of them took off. What you hear about with these .coms that did take off and get bought and all that stuff is less than 1% of 1% of 1%. They became the biggest and the baddest, not necessarily the best. And they're the ones who are always there. So, no, I'm not going to continue. Alright, you got questions, comments, whatever. I don't know. It's just, It's a Sunday during Christmas time. And that's about it. I did address Super Mario Run at the beginning. And I forget what else I was going to tell y'all. Well, whatever. Just take it easy out there. You can contact me at coffeeforbinky@gmail.com.